What's up, everybody? And today we are reacting to the Battle of Kursk. This is a World War II footage of the battle. I actually don't know anything about this battle as far as I'm aware, so I am very interested to see what it's all about. In the description, it says the Battle of Kursk occurred on January 1943 around the Soviet city of Kursk in western Russia as Germany launched Operation Citadel. Hitler's response to the devastating defeat by the Soviet Red Army at the Battle of Stalingrad. The Battle of Germany lasted. The battle was Germany's last chance to regain dominance on the Eastern Front during World War II, and the battle would be their final offense. I'm interested to see what this is all about. It's obviously footage, so I'm going to have to talk over it and kind of go over my thoughts. Very exciting, because I don't really do stuff like this. Before we get started, though, question of the day comes from Nox. It says, question, what weapons did you use in the Royal Marines? I used quite a few different weapons. A lot of them I don't remember the name of. I used this sharpshooter rifle that we got just before we were doing pre-deployment training. I used this Italian shotgun, obviously the SA-80A2, as you would expect, which got modified over time. We did dry drills on a lot of different bigger weapons. I used the GPMG, I used the Mini-Me, I used LSW, I used this weird kind of Gatling gun off the side of a ship. I used a bunch of different stuff. The thing is, I don't remember all the actual names for them. So I do apologize. It would be nice to go over them sometime, wouldn't it? But thank you for your question, Nox. And if you want your question answered, leave it in the comment section down below. Other than that, I think it's time to shut up. This footage is about 9 minutes and 30 seconds long. Let's pop it up and let's have a cheeky peek, shall we? I'm gonna quiet my tune up a bit. Obviously, before we get into this, obviously this is footage, so, you know, if you're sensitive to stuff like that, there is some people out there with PTSD, just be aware of that, okay? I wonder if it's going to give us a voiceover, or whether it's just, like, footage. The Battle of Kursk was the largest tank battle in history, involving some 6,000 tanks, 2 million troops, and 4,000 aircraft. Sheesh! That must have been brutal. This was Germany's absolute last chance to gain momentum on the Eastern Front after its loss of Stalingrad. The Iron Curtain just kept pushing and pushing until Germany eventually collapsed on the Eastern Theater with a lack of troops. Kursk had some of the worst fighting seen in World War II, as it was so open it was a death trap upon all soldiers. Very brutal hand-to-hand combat in the trenches. Germany knew it was their last shot. Both sides had to give it their all. Sheesh. Look at this footage. It's crazy how some of the footage has like been remastered to... Let's turn this... I don't want to get copyright claim with the music. But it looks like it's crazy when you see this old footage kind of remastered into color, and I think it brings it a little bit more home, a little bit more personal when you see it in color, because it's very easy for my generation, millennials, to see black and white footage and just kind of think it was something far off in the past. And although it's nearly it's over 80 years ago now, nearly 80 years ago. My math correct there? Yeah. Yeah, it is. I had to think about that then. It's still, you know, there's a disconnect there, isn't there? Especially when you see things in black and white. So to see them in color really does put it in a little bit of different perspective, doesn't it? Because these were people just like you and I, doing what they had to do, unfortunately. It's pretty damning. Look at all the tanks. Jeesh. I didn't even imagine. And we went over this in the previous video. Obviously, we're talking a lot of crap about Russia right now and what they're doing, and rightly so, because they are being horrible, horrible people. Well, military, not the people of Russia. But at the same time, look at that, civilians helping dig the trenches, I'm guessing. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have won World War II. So, it's very telling. Look at the vehicles, man. It's crazy how far technology's come since then. Look at the uniform. It progressed so much in that little time. Wonder what they're doing there. Oh, they're building like slabs, concrete slabs. Is that what they're doing? It's very interesting. that some sort of camouflage? I don't know any of the tactics of back then, so I'm still a little stumped as to what some of it is. Obviously, this is German and Russian military, so they're very different to the British military that we've seen time and time again in footage, especially being obviously in the British Royal Marines Commandos. You kind of only see British footage, don't you? Look at that mustache. That is one hell of a mustache there, my dude. Wow. Jeez, look at that. It must have been so nerve-wracking if you're young and you're just out of training, you get struck straight into the war, which most of the people were. It must be so scary in a way, right? They didn't have the experience. I know like, Royal Marines get 32 weeks of training, but a lot of the techniques you'll learn are when you get to a unit, right? And you get that experience. And some of these people didn't have that experience. They just had to go on the front line, do what they learned in training, and hope for the best. Great footage. Whoever remastered this, by the way, is very impressive. Looked like it was a relatively nice day. I wonder how long this battle went on for. This is one thing, like, I don't know all the ins and outs of these battles. Obviously, I know the outcome of the war altogether, and I know certain parts from it from watching videos with you guys. But, I'd like to know a lot more about the individual battles and the smaller things happening, especially now that we're doing a lot more military stuff on this channel, kind of going back to our roots a little bit here and watching military stuff, which, by the way, if you think that, if you're enjoying that, if you like the fact that I have gone back to kind of military roots, let me know in the comments section down below. He's just holding his pistol in the air like that. Jeez. Look at that. It's so primitive, the technology. In a way. Sheesh. A lot of these people you're seeing right now are probably passed in this war, which is terrifying to think of, isn't it? Like, a lot of them would have passed, unfortunately, during this war. They wouldn't have been able to go home. And although Russia are doing the dirty right now and killing civilians in Ukraine and trying to take over the country, they did work hard to fight the Russians during World War II, and you have to commend them for that. That's something you have to respect and understand, that if it wasn't for the Soviet Union, most of Europe would be speaking German right now, unfortunately. But they held off. They fought back. And there's been plenty of differences since World War II between the Soviet Union, all the countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union, or some of them, like Russia and Belarus, and the West. They're kind of against each other. But ever since the Cold War, really, hasn't it? But at that time, they were all kind of fighting the same cause. Which is strange, isn't it? How times change within 100 years. They've gone from helping us to the point of we wouldn't be here to essentially being the bad guy. And Germany on our side now. Which is baffling if you think about it. How politics does that. I'm guessing, is it going to tell us some stats at the end? Is it going to give us some, like, text? No, maybe it doesn't. If you know more about this battle, let me know in the comment section. Casualties, outcome, vehicles used and destroyed. Like, give me some stats if you know them in the comment section down below. I know I have some people who watch these videos who are very smart when it comes to this stuff, and they love to stay on top of their military history. And well done if you do. Jeez, look at that. It's a completely different era, isn't it? Just the armor they use. Like, I look back at some of the stuff that I used in the Royal Marines compared to what they're using now, and it feels old. Like the uniform I had, the equipment I had, they don't. So a lot of that stuff's outdated now, and they don't use that in these days, which makes me feel old. But some of this looks like crazy old, doesn't it? Holy cow. What is that? What was that weapon? Mortar's going down. Jeez. And it's weird how, with the times changing as well, and although there are boots on the ground in Ukraine right now, a lot of military and a lot of war now is quite the opposite. And it's definitely done by drones and strikes and shelling and stuff like that, which obviously Russia are using that tactic right now against Ukraine and doing a lot of strikes. But, jeez, look at that. Look at these people. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, what's going to happen in another 100 years when it comes to the military? Here we go. Oh, here we go. Over 800,000 plus Soviet casualties and over 200,000 German casualties. So the Soviets definitely had way more casualties. The Soviets now had the upper hand. From this day on, it was the straight push to Berlin. 5th of July, 1943 to 23rd of August, 1943. That is a long, long battle. My days. If you survive that, then you are a legend. Incredible footage. Absolutely incredible footage. Let me know in the comments if you love watching that stuff and you want me to react to more stuff like that, because that's definitely an option in the future. What a fantastic video, and whoever it was who recommended me that, thank you very much. Yeah, I'd like to know more about these battles, though. I really like these footage videos, but I also like the videos that it's, like, animated and it shows you all the stats and kind of where people went and the tactics used and stuff like that. So if you've got any of them videos, let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to watch them. But for now, members, you're beautiful, you're amazing. I love you. I couldn't do this without you. And I still got make videos every single day if it wasn't for these beautiful people. So thank you for supporting the channel as much as you do. I genuinely appreciate it. Links down below to all my socials, including my merch. Go and buy it if you can. And you get a private video sent to you. Excuse me. All this kombucha. You get a private video sent to you by me. Other than that, I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one, guys. Peace.